Caitlin Clark for Indiana, who has been terrific, the #1 overall pick, who has been packing buildings all across the U.S.
Well, she's definitely taken that golden advice, recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive
14 points, 13 assists, 12 rebounds, and a huge win.
From college sensation to WNBA game changer in the blink of an eye. That's Caitlin Clark's story. But here's the real kicker. She might just snatch that MVP trophy in her rookie year. Impossible, not for Clark. Let's talk about why the basketball world can't stop watching. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Do you recognize Caitlin Clark from her time at university? Give it another thought. True stars are made or broken in the WNBA. Aside from turning heads, Clark's ascent to the major leagues is reshaping the rookie playbook. Given the history of the WNBA, what has she accomplished that no other rookie has been able to do? Moving on from university to the pros is something we should discuss. This is more than just an upgrade. It's a giant leap from the wading pool to the open sea. Attempting to keep afloat amidst the weight of expectations and pressure is how the majority of rookies spend their first season. Clark, though, while the other swimmers do laps, she swims around them. Would you like to know how bad is it usually for rookies? Well, picture yourself suddenly competing against sharks after being the biggest fish in a little pond. There you have it, the WNBA. Players are stronger, the game is faster, and the pressure is on. It's skyrocketing. During the first few months on the court, the majority of rookies have trouble finding their groove, their shooting, and even their locker. Clark, though, not many newcomers are like her. As soon as she stepped foot on the court, she exuded confidence. She isn't merely performing admirably, she is creating history. And now things go crazy. You heard it here first. Clark has managed 2 triple-doubles so far this year. I know what you're thinking. Okay, that's pretty good. The most shocking part, though, is that no other rookie in WNBA history has ever achieved it. Absolutely not one. Just think about that for a while. Clark becomes the only rookie in the league's 17-year history to accomplish this feat while playing among some of the world's top female basketball players. She practically brought a lightsaber to a knife battle. However, triple-doubles aren't the only thing to consider. On the court, Clark has been absolutely dominant. Her squad's record over the past 8 games?
Since the Marina Mabry trade, and she has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin Clark for 3, rattles it around for her first deep shot.
Well, she's definitely taken that golden advice, recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive
No losses, 7 victories. Those are the stats of an MVP, not a rookie. It's likely that you're asking, MVP? As a beginner, why don't you try? But hear this, it's getting some attention. Additionally, not limited to Twitter followers. Anyone from commentators and coaches to other players is fair game. People are talking about it. In the words of one analyst, if Caitlin finishes the season on this kind of run, you've got to start seriously considering her for MVP. That's more than simply compliments. It represents a radical change in our perspective on the rookie's influence. For the record, it's unusual to hear a rookie mentioned as a potential MVP. Uncommon. Like a unicorn, such an occurrence would make more seasoned athletes take note. I can assure you, they are taking note. Clark isn't simply racking up stats, though. That's what's getting people's attention. The way her squad plays is being altered by her. Everyone around her is being improved by her. It's an impact like that that distinguishes great players from great ones and legends from great ones. Modifying the rules is one thing, take control of it by contrast. It's not simply remarkable. Clark's most recent statistic is historic. What exactly is she averaging that no other rookie, or perhaps no WNBA player in history, has attempted? Let's take a moment to discuss numbers. When it comes to basketball, statistics mean more than just numbers. The narratives they convey of triumph, defeat, and everything in between are the game's blood and soul. Regarding discussions about MVPs, what about? The language of numbers is universal. Okay, but rookies put up good numbers all the time, right? You might be asking. Certainly, but what is Clark up to? It's completely different. We're not merely discussing favorable figures. The figures are so high that even seasoned players like A'ja Wilson take note. From casual observers to seasoned athletes, what statistic has everyone scratching their heads? Look at this. At the moment, Clark's point average is 37.6 per game. And that's not all, she's scoring goals as well. She's either scoring or setting up goals at that point. Give that some time to settle in. Is that good? Is likely a question on your mind. Impressive is the least word to describe it. This might break a new record in the WNBA, not to mention raise the bar for rookies. That is all. That is all. On the other hand, how significant is this in the overall context? The whole discussion about the rookie's impact on the league is being altered by this. Rookie of the Year is no longer the exclusive topic of discussion. What we're talking about is MVP as a beginner. Just give that some time to settle. A researcher stated this. This is the one that if you had still have any doubts between her and say Angel Reese for Rookie of the Year, look at this. The focus has shifted beyond rookie accolades though. Clark is being sent into an entirely new stratosphere by this statistic. Put it in your mind, these are not meaningless figures. These are actual points contributed to the team, was the observation of an additional analyst. This is a great indication for most valuable player because it indicates the player's value in relation to their performance. Forget about scoring goals, Clark is a catalyst for her entire team's success.
Caitlin Clark for Indiana, who has been terrific, the #1 overall pick, who has been packing buildings all across the U.S.
Like, I love it. Like, I try to soak in every single environment before the national anthem and really realize how grateful I am.
Where Caitlin Clark notched the first triple-double ever by a WNBA rookie and the first in Fever franchise history.
Can a rookie really be in the MVP conversation, you may be asking? My usual response would be a resounding nay. It is expected that rookies would be gaining experience and not lagging behind more seasoned players. Clark, though, the rules is being rewritten by her, and this is about more than simply personal bragging rights. The way we view rookie potential in the WNBA is being changed by Clark's performance. She's not merely meeting the expectations, she's surpassing them. The intriguing part, though, begins at this point. Beyond her own statistics, Clark's influence extends beyond. Everyone around her is being improved by her. Being able to lift the entire team as well as oneself is the mark of a genuine MVP. The context must also be remembered. Oh, the WNBA, we're talking about it here. Extremely high levels of competitiveness are seen. Clark isn't merely keeping up, she's blazing a trail. These are the top dogs in the field. What does this imply for Clark's prospects of being named MVP? It may be early, but the excitement is palpable. A change is occurring in the discourse. These days, it's about more than just whether a rookie can win MVP. Whether or not Clark is able to assume that title is at stake. The most important thing is that this isn't limited to this season. What is possible in the WNBA is being redefined by Clark's performance. She's doing more than simply trying to break records, she's making them. Breaking records is fun, but how many people actually watch? I'll let you tell you about that. How is it that a single rookie game is attracting more viewers than a few NBA games? It might seem that a player's influence ends at the last buzzer. However, Caitlin Clark's impact goes well beyond the realm of law. In fact, she is altering the very fabric of women's basketball, not merely the game itself. For the sake of argument, let's discuss audience size. Attracting big crowds has long been a problem for the WNBA. About 200,000 people watch WNBA games on a regular basis. Not terrible, but it also won't light the globe on fire. The league has always had a hard time attracting new fans and holding its own in the sports media landscape. Introducing Caitlin Clark. Not only is this rookie raking in huge cash off the court, but she is also putting up incredible numbers on the court. Listen up, 617,000 people tuned in to see one of Clark's most recent games. The WNBA isn't the only one benefiting from this. Certain NBA games are seeing more viewers than that. Wait, the WNBA is drawing more fans than the NBA is likely what you're thinking. Could that possibly be done? Apparently so, with Clark in the lineup. Plus, it's not an isolated incident. 4 of the 9 most watched NBA TV games this year featured Clark's games. It's more than just adjusting the needle, it's completely dismantling the dial.
13 points, 13 assists, 12 rebounds, and a huge win.
The Caitlin Clark fans are out in droves.
There's so many people that are showing up in Fever gear or gear of myself, and so I think it's not something that ever gets old.
Is the WNBA affected by this? Clark isn't merely an outstanding player, she completely transforms the league. A lot of people who might not have paid attention to women's basketball before are becoming fans because of her, and once they start watching, they won't leave. To quote one analyst, Caitlin Clark has been beating the NBA in viewership. Give that some time to settle in. A WNBA rookie is getting more fans than longtime NBA players. This is quite remarkable. It has never been done before. The intriguing part, though, begins at this point. The influence of Clark extends far beyond the increase in attendance at her own games. All of the league's visibility is increasing thanks to her. The sport of women's basketball stands to get greater attention, sponsors, and money if the number of viewers increases. And the figures aren't the only thing that matter. There's a newfound enthusiasm for the WNBA, thanks in large part to Clark's playstyle, charisma, and the fact that she can turn any game into a spectacular event. According to one expert, every game that she plays in some kind of a new record is set. She's changing the game, not only playing it. The WNBA may have reached a tipping point with this increase in viewership. This season and the season after that are not the only ones that matter. More talent, more spectators, and overall respect for women's basketball could be attracted as a result of Clark's influence, which could alter the league's future. Now things start to heat up in the MVP discussion. Points scored and assists are the only topics covered in most MVP debates. Clark, though, she's arguing for MVP in a way that goes beyond just the stats. Her impact on the league is immeasurable in terms of points and assists. Put it in your mind, a most valuable player, MVP, is more than simply a top performer on the court. They are the asset to their club and league. At this point in time, it's difficult to find someone who contributes more to the WNBA than Caitlin Clark. In light of this, what is Clark's future trajectory with the WNBA regarding all forms of women's athletics? This is completely new ground for us. Clark may be able to permanently alter the course of the game, and her debut season has been